pick up where we're loading in. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Don't make me do it.
There's about 1,000 things out here.
February.
You're dealing in pretty high numbers as far as hit points and stuff.
What's that?
You're dealing in pretty high numbers as far as hit points, like that shot just took 2,800 points off of it.
Yeah, you know, we were going with sort of a more traditional curve, and it didn't feel very hero-y to do 15 points of damage. So tried a different approach. Leader. Should be able to get in there.
It's true.
There's one. Let's go get this guy.
So yeah, I guess what we're seeing here too is the whole world's pretty much all loaded in at once. You know, there's not a whole lot of like pop in.
Yeah, so what we do is we have a seamless environment within, it's basically seamless within an environment. So while there might be many zones or what we call districts in Metropolis, you never have to do a load to get to one to another. The whole thing of Metropolis is, the whole city of Metropolis is seamless. Same thing with Gotham. Any adventure zone that we do or locale, it's all seamless, and it streams in.
So it's not like City Heroes where you have sectioned off squares of cities.
No, no. I mean, we couldn't, come up with some fiction that divided our city into force fields and stuff like that. I mean, it's Metropolis. It's Gotham. It doesn't have those things. So, we had to represent the city as it should be. So, and that's why we talk about when we have civilians and traffic, just going about their normal business, and that what we'll do is seed encounters and missions and things like that into the environment where that bank robbery isn't always there, right? So it spun up because you were on patrol and you were going by the bank robbery or the bank, and bam, all of a sudden the robbery started to occur. All right, so here I am inside of Star Labs now, and I'm here to help Lex. Some scientists are fleeing the scene because, whoa, something bad is going on down there. Let's see what's going on. All right, so here we have all the LexCorp forces are in here battling the Star Labs forces that are defending the site. Doomsday's gotten out, and that's no good for anybody because he really doesn't want to be captured or contained by anybody, including Lex. So he is doing his own thing here. Let's see if we can't find Lex and help him.
So Doomsday's out here basically just beating up everybody.
Doomsday's beating up everybody, and he's tough enough to do it. Now, he is in a weakened state because he was in containment here, and Superman had just beaten him up. So guys like me and Lex can actually attempt to take him on. Yeah, there's Lex with a bunch of his forces. Of course, he seems to travel with his minions, so I'm going to stand by Lex and these other guys. So there's Lex up top. You can see him weaponizing stuff. Doomsday's weaponizing stuff. I'm weaponizing stuff. Everybody's picking things up. We're all very strong. So he just actually hit him with a kryptonite beam. That didn't do much. Alright, so I got to get over to Doomsday before he rallies, but I did not get there in time. So he got up fast. Yeah, he is tough. Now, every time he gets knocked out, he gets up slower. So I have an opportunity to try and take him down, but Lex stunned him. That's cool.
Doomsday looks good too. I like that extremely monstrous version, with all the spikes and everything.
Yeah, Jim and the Wildstorm guys did a really good job. Let's see if I can get over here in time. Yeah, okay, I got it. So I've now secured Doomsday for Lex and gotten my I'm gonna get paid now. Woohoo! Every villain likes to get paid. So there you go. That was
There's your
our
hyper
sort of
boost.
interest. Now I'm back into the open world, and I can go on another case or another caper at this point. So there you have it.
Are we going to see, like, say that you know, when this game is already, do you plan on having anything where, you know, you'll beat Doomsday, get him locked up, and then Luthor maybe has a conversation with you?
Yeah.
Gives you a little bit of a, you know, some
So
sort
we
of
have-
feedback on it.
Absolutely. So we have a number of ways that you get involved with these characters. You're going to have a personal relationship with them. Basically, Batman might contact you and he'll say, you know, hey, there's trouble at the docks. I need you down there now. And you don't go. You decide to go and help the Flash. And that, you know, the time for that mission expires. And Batman contacts you next time and he says, hey, I thought I could count on you. You know, don't let me down this time. And, you know, he says, head over to this penthouse. Catwoman's doing some burglary, and I need you to get there, right? So basically, and if you don't go again, he starts getting pissed. Right now, it doesn't mean that Batman doesn't give you content anymore. He still gives you content. It's just that he does it in a mean and nasty way instead of his, you know, just normal, gruff and disdainful way. So, you know, imagine getting Batman mad at you, right? Whereas Superman will be the Boy Scout and he'll, you know, congratulate you when you do a good job and, you know, maybe try and mentor you when you blow him off. But it changes every time you log in, every time you do something one way or another. It doesn't cut you off from them, but it affects how they talk to you and how they behave toward you.
Now, will your association with somebody that Batman is, say, less than thrilled with, say you're like in a guild or something like that, affect how he treats you on a later mission as well in that relationship aspect?
Heroes are heroes and villains are villains. So you have relationships with these guys, you know, based on that fact, and then their characterization.
Okay.
So there's basically levels at which you can interact with them in a characterized way, right? So Batman's always going to be gruff and grim, but there's also, you know, you let him down mode that he has. Same thing with Superman. He's always going to be the Boy Scout, but he can be the mentor too. But we have a system that's going to let you you're always a hero, but you can walk the line between that dark hero or that Boy Scout hero, depending on what cause you're sort of fighting for at that time. So you can be the vigilante, you can be the Boy Scout, you can be the the patriot or the environmentalist or something like that. You know, it depends on sort of what you are doing at any given time in the content.
And that'll affect what missions you come to.
Yeah, it can. Yeah. Think of it like faction, right?
Right.
Like, oh, I fight a lot of these guys, and you know, but we're taking a new turn, a new twist with it, and making it really fit the superhero.
Now, would those
genre.
factions possibly be Justice League, Justice Society, Doom Patrol?
Well, I've probably said too much already, so I will leave that for a later time when we actually talk about causes.
Now, you also mentioned, you mentioned groups or clans, or, you know, unions, guilds. That's the word I'm looking
Leagues
for.
and legions. Yep,
You
we'll
can
be
make
doing
your own
that.
super teams in this as well?
Absolutely, basically large groups of friends that get together and fight together for the common good or the common greed, I suppose you
Right.
say, right? Depending on whether you're a hero or villain. There's been a lot of speculation when we talk about leagues and legions and societies that it means different things for each side, and it really doesn't. It's they're basically guilds, and if you want to call yourself the Justice Society or the Justice League or the Secret Society or the Legion of Doom, whatever, it can go either way, right?
And do you plan to have like headquarters, things like that, where you'd be able to
Like your own Hall of Justice.
exactly?
Sure. Talk about that when we
But dig deeper than I'm.
Yeah. We'll get into details on that later. But I would certainly like to see that.
Now, one of the big things with this game is obviously the ability to pick stuff up, the interaction with the objects in the environment, and whether or not how strong you are could pick up